So around a month ago, when Ireland was having the Beast from the East, as people called it, I was really bored one night and decided to tweet one of my favourite authors, Jessie Andrews, this tweet, and said, "Mate, you have a new book coming out, any chance of an advance copy, proof copy type thing?" And he was like, "Get 1,000 retweets and it'll be all good." And lo and behold, after about 11 hours, little old me reached the 1,000 retweets and delightfully got his new book, a little proof copy, so it's all like not hardback or anything, called MUNMUN, which is a very interesting title, and I have had such a freaking good time reading this book, and I'd really highly recommend it. I plan to have the review up before the book came out, because it came out on Tuesday, on the 3rd of April, but I can't even lie and say like, oh, I was studying because, you know, like final year and stuff like that, because I wasn't. I've done nothing over this break except for sit at my desk and look at books, but not actually do anything. This book is what we're going to talk about. This book tells the story of people who are proportional size-wise to the amount of money that they have, which I think is a really interesting concept. So if you have like $2 million, then, or 2 million, is it dollars? What's the currency? Ones? Anyways, if you have like 2 million of that, you'd be like really big. Whereas if you have say like 500, which is like the lowest scale that you can be on, you're around like the size of a rat or something. And the book follows Warner, who is, I said this on Twitter the other day when the book was released, but he is about to be like your new favourite fictional character. He is so likeable. Like, he's just such a good character. So it mainly follows Warner and his sister Prayer trying to get through the world, not die and be crushed by a cat or just a taller person walking by, and trying to scale up so that they can be able to live a better life, be safer, get their family to a safer spot, and just all that kind of fun stuff. But all the trials and tribulations that come with that also. I don't want to give too much of the plot away because I genuinely feel like I didn't read much about the book except for like a tiny little blurb about how people are proportional to the amount of money that they have, because I just thought that was so interesting. And I would highly recommend that you don't read as much as you can before reading the book, because it genuinely is such a treat to know nothing going into it. I was just really like anticipating this book because I really like his other work. It is like work that he's done in film and screenwriting and that kind of thing, so I was really excited for it. But yeah, I don't want to give much of it away, but it is unlike anything I have ever read, and it was really interesting as well because it touches on topics that are contemporary to how we experience them, and how there is that kind of like divide and stigma around people that have less money than others, and like people look down upon others if they're in like a higher position, whether it's in work or just with like being born into wealth or whatever. So I thought that was really interesting. And then also when there's people that have more money that try to help the little poors, as they call them, it comes with strings attached. Like, no one just wants to do anything to be kind, almost, which I thought was really interesting. And I'm just going to pretend that it didn't take me up into 150 pages to realise why some things were spelled wrong and spelled the way that they were in the book. Because, to be honest, sorry Jessie Andrews if you happen to be watching this, I was like, oh, it's a proof copy, so they mustn't have like corrected any spelling stuff. Maybe this dude just isn't that great at spelling first, that's fine. And then I was reading it and I was like, oh, the character whose perspective it's written from is illiterate. And then my mind was blown. I was like sitting on the bus reading it and like my jaw dropped. I was like, this is incredible. This genius. This is so smart. Like, who would think of that? I wouldn't. That's why I'm not a New York Times bestselling author. But I was like, that is so smart. It's so smart. Anyways, that was like one of my really favourite parts of it. Yeah, the book in itself is so heartwarming. All the characters are really likeable. Well, like the characters that you're supposed to like are really likeable. And the thing that I liked about Prayer and Warner, because in the book they're like 14, 15, is that they still spoke like teenagers. And even though they are in a situation where they kind of have to be more adult-like and stuff like that, you could still see the like naivety with them. And which I thought was like really nice to see, because I hate reading books by teenagers where they don't like act their age. Whereas they're still trying to figure themselves out. Like, it is, I wouldn't say it's a coming of age novel necessarily, but there are definitely elements of that, and especially with Warner when he like falls in love for the first time and like all that kind of stuff. But it's genuinely just such a lovely read, and I don't know how they're gonna do it, they probably will at some point. It's a book that I would love to see made into a movie, just to see how they'd have everything scaled, because obviously like people are completely different sizes throughout the whole book, and like objects are different sizes and houses are different sizes and cars and everything, like animals are bigger than some of the people, and like cats and dogs, and I just think it'd be really interesting to see how that is portrayed in film. And also, like, I was reading it and I'm no actor, but bitch, I'd love to play Grace, 'cause she is very cool. And yeah, I genuinely could not recommend this book more. I felt so grateful to get a proof copy of it, because it was so nice just seeing everyone else's like anticipation and knowing that like it is gonna live up to their expectations and to their hopes, because it lived up to yours. And now I don't know if I can buy it anywhere, but I really want to find the bookmark that has like the size, like the actual scale that Warner is at the start of the book, because that would be really cool. And like when you open the book, just so like it's easy and to understand and stuff like that, they have guide and size to what size people are in comparison to how much money they have, which I think is really cool. And like the book cover I also really like. To me it looks like a bank. I'm assuming it's supposed to be a bank type thing. He even said it himself in like tweets and stuff like that, that it is like incredibly ambitious, and it is, but it's 100% paid off. Like the story is entirely clear, the plot's clear. You really get a grasp of what all the characters are like the second they're introduced onto the page. Like he really understood what he was writing, the story that he was trying to get across, the message that he was trying to get across. It was really conveyed to the reader, I thought. Like I just like from 20 pages in I fell in love with the book and I want to reread it. And oh, and also forgot the most important part, it has like, so there's life and death world, which is like everyday life and being awake and stuff like that, and dream world. And these people, what I kind of took from it is that it's essentially like they're asleep, but they're like still awake and they can fully interact with everyone, and they can like create their own world, and everyone's equal kind of in dream world and stuff like that, and people are better dreamers than each other, but that doesn't matter what size they are, how much money they have. It's just like their own brain and their own intellect, which I thought was so, oh, it was just so cool and it was great. And like even I said earlier in the video of how it like touches on contemporary issues, and like it really does down to even like the kind of education that the kids are given, because if they don't have that much money they're not gonna like perform as well, because they haven't had that access to education from a young age. And you see it in like kind of more derelict areas in life, that sadly money talks and people get more opportunities if they have money, and it's heartbreaking and it's annoying, but like that's life. So I thought that this book definitely dealt with those kind of issues in a really interesting way, in a very entertaining way as well. Overall, I thoroughly enjoyed this book. I don't know what the retail price of it is in Ireland. I'll actually do a little Google of that now. So I can find it on Eason's, which is like our main bookshop, but I don't know when it's being released in Ireland. I'm not his publicist. But on Amazon you can get it for £12.28, which is about €14.50 wise, thereabouts, and it is worth every single penny. It's such a good book. I'd highly recommend it, and I will probably buy the actual version as well, just because I want the hardcover too. So overall, great book. Go buy it. You'll have a swell time reading it. It's really nice to like have a like nice cup of coffee, even though I spilled a lot of coffee on this book. But hey, it's christening it, breaking it in. It's all good. Jessie Andrews, you're a great author, if you're even watching this, I don't know. But yeah, go buy the book. This is the first review of a book I've done. I've done movies and TV shows, but this is different. I haven't read much in a while just because I have not had the time. But it was really nice to get back into reading, and this was a great book to do so, because it's very easy read as well. So definitely go check it out. If you liked the video, do what you want, give it a like, dislike, comment, I don't care. That's how you live your life. And I will hopefully be making more videos soon. Actually, to be fair, I probably won't have any new videos until like June or so, because from Monday onwards, it's exam season. Hate my life. It's fine. Hopefully I'll get into film school, and if not, at least I got 1,000 retweets, and that could be my biggest achievement of 2018 and probably my entire life forever. So once again, thank you for watching, go buy the book, and I'll see you all soon.